Alright, in my previous video, I basically showed you that we edited the highlight bar using the compact layout, but what I didn't like was having the phone numbers stacked in a pick list, essentially, where I can't see them all at once. The other thing I really don't like is the assistant is over here, but I have to go over here to find their phone numbers. So we're going to make some edits to this that's going to make this a little bit more usable. So to do that, we're going to get into something that some people don't touch for several months as an administrator, formulas. I'm going to show you some really easy ways to do this and kind of teach you in baby steps so that it makes sense. So always when we're making a change to any record, I'm going to tell you to go over to the gear tool, click setup. It'll open a new tab here, and we need to think about what is the object that we're trying to edit. So each of these is like an object in Salesforce. You can look at which tab is highlighted, or you can look in the upper left corner at that small name at the top, and it's contacts that we're trying to edit. So we go to the object manager, we go down to the object itself, which is the contact, and what we're going to do is make a formula field to display multiple pieces of information in a single field. So we're going to be combining fields together. So I'm going to click on fields and relationships, and over here I can create a new field, and I'm going to choose a formula, meaning I'm going to be doing something, in this case combining multiple fields together to be displayed in a single field. So it's a formula. I'm going to click next, and I have to tell it what is the formula going to be outputting. What am I going to be looking at when I look at that formula? So obviously if I'm displaying a phone number and let's say a mobile number and an email, then I need text output so that they can read those characters. And what I'm going to do is call this just the contact info. So what you'll notice is that I usually put a capital F in parentheses to remind myself that this is a formula. And the reason is, just so you're aware, the formulas cannot be edited on a record. They're pulling information from somewhere else. So your users could go into that contact info and want to change someone's phone number and not realize that the phone number is actually being displayed from a field called phone that's somewhere else on the record. So I do that just to kind of remind my users and myself that this is going to be a read only, and you have to go to the other fields that are being displayed in this formula. You have to go to those fields directly to make the edits. So I'm going to click next. We have a text field. I click on the advanced tab. It's actually easier to use that, and we'll click, if you start on the simple formula, it'll show contact and then the field. I just go to the advanced one, and I'm going to click insert. So this is showing me that these are the contact fields over here, and I want the phone number. So I'm going to scroll down and put in phone and click insert, and then on the next line I want the mobile number. And I'm intentionally showing you this. You might say, well, wait a minute, there's a mistake already if you know what you're doing, but I'm going to teach you this just step by step. So I want the mobile next, and then on the next line I want to put in their email. So scrolling down, click on email and insert, and I can check to see, is this going to work, and I know it's not. So it says there's this error that the phone number is being found. And the problem with that right now is that I am trying to combine three different fields, and right now I don't have any glue sticking them together. And when I say that, in strings of characters in text, the ampersand is the glue that holds things together. So if I put phone up here and then the mobile number, I'm going to click check syntax. Now it's saying that I have this error found the mobile number. So it's kind of hard when you're trying to figure out what's wrong. The and behind this will combine that phone number with the email, and now it's saying there are no errors. So you might say, well, great, I have the phone, and then on the next line the mobile, and the next line the email. So I'm going to go ahead and actually save this. I'm going to click next now that my syntax errors are gone. I need to figure out who has visibility. So in your org, probably you're going to see everything is checked automatically here. That just tells me all the different types of users you might have will now have visibility. And you can't uncheck this because formulas are read only. They're only pulling information from other fields. So we'll go ahead and click next. And then it says, where am I going to see this field? Like which layouts am I going to see this on? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on every layout. And then what we're going to do, we've already learned in another video how to put this into the compact layout. My goal was to basically make this easier to see the information at the top. So what I'm going to do is go into the compact layout. I had created a custom one before, and I'm going to say edit this to include the contact info. And I'm going to move that over, and since the phone is part of that, I'm going to get rid of the phone. Since the mobile's part of it and the email is part of that formula, I'm just going to go replace all of that with the contact info. Now, there will be a problem. I'm letting you know that now. We're going to go in here and click refresh. The good news is it will now have the contact info at the top. The bad news is it doesn't look the way that we want. It's all combined into one long string. So we can see both phone numbers, but they're definitely looking a little weird. So we're going to go back into the old tab where we just did the formula. I'm going to look up contact info and just click on it here, or you can click on the drop down and edit. And what I'm going to change is we really need to insert what are called line breaks between the first phone number and the mobile number, and then another line break between that number and the email. So in Salesforce, the code for going to the next line is BR open and close parentheses. Now I prefer to put all of my commands in all caps, just so that I know that that's like a specific command, and all caps just stands out more to my eye. So you might say, all right, let's do BR open and close parentheses. That's just telling it to go to the next line. And do I really need one here? Well, no, there's nothing else after this, so I could put a BR at the end of this after the ampersand, but there's no need. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and check my syntax, and we're getting back to this problem of this mobile number showing back up. What's happened is we've used glue to put the extra line in, but then we haven't glued that to the mobile number. And we put in this, I'll go ahead and check syntax. It's now going to tell me there's a problem with this email. The truth is, the problem is I didn't give it any glue to stick it together. So I use the ampersand. It's technically called concatenation, combining strings of characters. But the ampersand is important there. And now we've got no syntax errors. I'm going to click save, and we'll go right back in here. Remember, now this is in the compact layout. It's in the highlight bar. All we needed to do was add some line breaks. So we can click refresh now. And now we're seeing their phone number, their mobile, and their email. Well, what I don't like at this point is I need labels here. So we've got the contact info, that's the field label. But what I want to do now is I want to actually clarify what is it that we're looking at. So again, going back into this, so this is like our third or fourth try. Well, if you've been doing this for years, you're going to know all this right off the bat. But when you're brand new to it, I always think it's good to learn where the mistakes might happen. So the first one is the phone. The way we're going to add a label is we're just going to put quotes, and we'll say, we'll say phone. And then I'll even go ahead and leave this like it is. So there's phone. Let's go and do mobile. And then let's do email. So can you tell me what's wrong with this? Hopefully what you're realizing is I have inconsistency. There's a colon there, so maybe I put the colon here. And I'm hoping that you recognized also that the fact that I've got this here in quotes, that's fine. That's actually string. But I need glue. I need to put these ands in there. So again, if I click syntax at this point, it's telling me there's this extra thing here. That's because it's not glued on there. And put some glue here. And then when I check syntax, it's saying everything's good. There's still going to be a problem that we're going to fix, but I want to show you what it looks like. So we just added the labels. We come in here and take a look. Oh, it didn't refresh yet. Maybe I didn't click save. Yeah, I didn't click save yet. So let me click save. We'll go in here and refresh. Still going to be a problem we're going to fix in a second. Oh, interesting. So it's not populating yet. Yeah, so it's saved down here. It's got these labels. What's interesting about this to me is typically that's a very quick change. So one way that you can force, it's good, it gives me a chance to talk about this. One way you can force updates is if you click edit, you'll see it typically refreshes all of the formulas. So now they're in there, and what I was trying to point out to you was this to me looks bad, not having a space there. So and when you're working in a formula, the spacing, it doesn't care at all about the spacing between these different parts here. The spacing really needs to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a space here, inside the quotes. That will actually take effect. All this is just white space that when they run that formula, it's going to ignore all of this white space. Just to show you what that looks like, the mobile should have space in it. We may have to click edit to make it populate. So you can see there's a little space there between mobile, but all the space we just put in on the phone row, it does not actually have any effect. And see how it kind of cleared it out automatically. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there, put a space in there. And just for looks, I don't like having a lot of extra white space, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull this in a little bit tighter. So at this point, it's been a long video, but we've got to a point where you can see a bunch of the errors that might happen. I click edit there just to force a little update on the highlight bar, and then that looks pretty reasonable to me. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Leave comments or ideas for videos you want us to make, and hit us with a like and subscribe to hear about new content we'll be releasing soon. Until then, we've provided some video recommendations at the bottom of the screen, and if you need more immediate help, you can book a consultation by using the link in the description, and we'll be happy to help you out.